This is On the Edge, a podcast that will help you navigate the ebbs and flows of life. It will encourage, empathize, inspire, educate, and empower the listener. It will push someone over the edge to their destiny or pull someone back from the edge of their demise. On the Edge will be a voice for others. You will hear stories of overcoming through and from death, financial and health challenges, insecurities, and stories of pursuing destiny, healing, and restoration. Welcome back. Welcome back to the On the Edge podcast. I'm so grateful for my guest, who is my dear sister and friend, Renee Williams. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So like me, you will be drawn in by Renee's deep passion for helping others navigate the journey towards financial peace. Whether you're just starting your debt-free journey or looking to strengthen your financial foundation, this conversation will equip and encourage you to take the next bold step. So my girl Renee has added author to her many talents and skills. Her latest ebook entitled Financial Freedom Unleashed. I love that. A guide to living a debt-free life takes us on a deep dive into the heart of what it means to live free of debt, free from fear, free to pursue the life God designed for you. So let's go, Renee.
Yes.
In your book, you talk about the journey to financial freedom and not a destination. So what was the turning point in your life that shifted your mindset from surviving to stewarding?
I guess it was, what really got me is because I couldn't help my grandmother at one point. Before she passed away, she was living in a senior citizen place and she wanted to move to a better one. And, we were all for it and she needed help. When she went and got the application, they told her, oh, you have the finances for the rent, but we don't know how you'll be able to pay your utilities. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted someone to co-sign for her. And at that point, I was all in. Oh, I'll do it. And she said, and these were her exact words, you have way more time to live than I do. I don't want you to tie your money up like that.
Wow.
And it kind of hurt because she had taken care of me so well all of my life, and I couldn't take care of her. And the thing was, when I added everything up, the amount of money that I would have had to pay monthly for her was just about what I was paying out in bills.
Right.
For credit cards and car notes and things like that. And I was like, oh my God, and at that point I was like, we have to do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. It usually is something personal that usually makes you shift, Yeah, something that happens to you that makes you shift your perspective about a lot of different facets of life. That's amazing. That's amazing. And many people feel overwhelmed by debt and unsure where to even begin. And so what would be your first advice for them, or, practical steps would you recommend for them if they feel that way?
You have to take it one step at a time. You really have to look at where you're getting your money from, how you're getting your money. You have to look at the full picture of your money. Like, how much money are you getting? How much money are you putting out every month? And you look at that full picture and you figure out where you can cut back, where you can save. Yes. My biggest issue was when we started this, I did not know how to save money. Mm-hmm. I had maybe at the most $50 in my checking account. Mm-hmm. And it was because I would get paid and everything would go out and I was buying things and we had nice things and we had nice cars and nice house and all that, but we didn't have a savings. And so we were at the brink of, that paycheck to paycheck. And if we missed a paycheck, it was going to be a problem. And that's what that's what opened my eyes with my grandmother's situation, is because I did take a look at my finances. And around that time was when, because I worked for the government, but we were about to furlough. Mm. And I had a lady come into my office, and she said, because I was working in HR, and we were trying to figure out what positions that we could, put in exceptions for, to not have to furlough on Fridays. And she came in my office. She was retired from the military. Her husband was retired from the military, and they both were GS-12s, right? Right. And so when you look at that, you think to yourself, oh, well, they should be fine. They have retirement money and they're both GS-12s. Right. She cried in my office because she said if she misses one day off of her paycheck, that she would not be able to make it.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my goodness. And that's when I really, really buckled down. I was already looking at my finances, and I looked at mine and I was like, wow, she's not alone, Right. Because we were literally living paycheck to paycheck and not knowing it. And that's why you have to look at the full picture of what you're getting and what you're putting out, because you could be living paycheck to paycheck and not know it.
Oh, yes. Because money comes in, money goes out, and you're like, oh, well, I got money and I'm taking care of things,
Right.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. I have been there for sure. For sure. And so what practical step did you do first, or what did you do? What are you doing?
I started looking for a program that would help me.
Okay.
And I came across the Dave Ramsey program, Financial Peace.
Yes.
And for me, it worked. It's a lot of people that they don't like it. They don't like his approach. But for me, it worked because he has what you call the baby steps. Yeah. And it was just basic knowledge that I already knew, that most of us already know. Mm-hmm. But it was presented to me in a way that I could do this.
Yes.
And I start saturating my mind with debt-free screens. If you go on like YouTube, you can put in debt-free screens, Dave Ramsey, and you can hear. And I was hearing these stories of these people who had like way more debt than I had. Mm-hmm. And they were getting out of debt. And I was like, well, can I possibly do this?
Yeah.
And if you've ever known the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes.
Well, I was looking into it and I was like, I wonder if I'm going to be able to do this. Right. I don't know. And I will tell you, maybe the week after I started, looking at the debt-free screens and really thinking about it, a couple came into my office at work and they just started talking about being debt-free. And I was like, wait a minute. And I told them, I said, well, I was looking into the Dave Ramsey program. And she said, do it. She said, do it. She said, you can get out of debt. She said, we are, and this is when we were in Hawaii.
Right.
And she said to me, she said, we have a paid off house and both of our cars are paid off.
Wow.
And they live in Hawaii. And for me, that was big because, it's kind of expensive in Hawaii. And I was like, wow. And they just gave me the confidence to go really check it out. And I did it. And I am so grateful that I did.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness. And so the impact on your life has caused you to just stick with that disciplined kind of life. Because I watch you, of course, from afar, but I'm like, this woman really is disciplined. How do you say no to things that you want? That delayed gratification kind of theory,
I have learned to look at it and ask myself, do I really need it? Mm-hmm. And if I really, really need it, I will buy it. But I don't buy anything. And like Dave Ramsey specifically does not like credit cards. Mm-hmm. I do use credit cards. I am not going to lie. But I am in a place, I think what the program did for me was put me in a place where I don't spend what I don't have.
Yes.
So even if I'm using a credit card, I'm not going to buy it just because I have credit to buy it.
That's right.
I only buy it if I can actually pay for it.
That's right. That's right. That's the mentality shift I had to take as well. Was like, okay, why are you doing that when you don't have the money to pay for this tomorrow? Like, you have the money tomorrow to pay for this. Okay, then maybe you're
Absolutely.
good. But if not, you might need to reconsider,
Yep.
And then I remember hearing someone say discipline is knowing what you want in the future and just saying no to yourself right now.
Right.
Put it off, being able to put it off. Well, that's amazing. So is that what sparked the desire for the book, or what sparked the book?
The book was, I have 5 children. Yeah. Well, they're young adults. I won't say children because the youngest is 23 now.
Wow.
But I just wanted to be an example for them. And I wanted them to have practical steps because although I tried to give Dave Ramsey to everybody, again, it happens when you're ready for it to happen.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And so I just like to leave breadcrumbs because I'm like, okay, I did Dave Ramsey, but I want to show them that this is real. This is not that wasn't a one-off. That was something I'm going to continue to do. And so I basically wrote it for them and so that it'll be something that they can teach my grandkids. So, I want this to be something that my friends and family can say, oh, she did it. I can do it.
That's a beautiful philosophy because that's what stops a lot of people. They feel so overwhelmed with the project in the first place in the beginning, but it's one step at a time. And that's what I felt was so simplistic, besides it being a very small book. So please go get it. We'll give you the more details in a little bit, but it was just simple steps that I did too. I gave it to my son because I'm like, you could use this for sure. Yeah. And you can do this, It's just so practical and I just loved it. And so what spiritual connection have you made with what you're doing?
Well, I will tell you, it's so funny because I grew up in the church.
Right.
And, my mom was a minister. My grandmother was a minister. My uncle was a pastor. He had a church and, so it's just running. And the one with tithing, right? Yeah. I used to not think that I could do it because I didn't have money and all of my money was going everywhere else. And so, I would give whatever I thought I could give. But, 10%, I can't afford to give 10%, right? And so when we were going to church in Hawaii, see, Hawaii was the place for me. But I was going to church in Hawaii and Pastor Anderson, he would always talk about tithing and, all that, right? And my husband said to me one day, we're going to start tithing. And I looked at him and I didn't say anything, but I looked at him. I'm like, do you know what 10% is going to be? And, but I said, okay, you lead, I'll follow.
Right. Nice.
And that was just around the time when we started the Dave Ramsey program. Wow. Which was crazy because I'm like, now I'm trying to pay off debt. How am I going to do this? Yes. But truth be told, that's one of the steps. Giving is a very big part of the Dave Ramsey program. But anyway, so we started tithing. And Fran, I will tell you, as we were getting out of debt, and we were like almost $90,000 in debt. Mm-hmm. And as we were getting out of debt and tithing, we did not have to take on extra jobs. We did not miss a beat. It was like we really still were able to do a lot of the things that we were already doing, kind of toned down. And of course, we were spending cash. Right. But we didn't miss a beat. And it was like the money just kept flowing. Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, nobody told me this before.
This is a whole new principle.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. I definitely can vouch for tithing as a principle for getting out of debt. It seems so ironic. It seems like it's the opposite of what should be happening for you to be working towards getting out of debt. But it is a phenomenal program.
It is.
Built by God, but it is a phenomenal program that really, really does work. And so I was very glad that you included that in the book. What is another principle that you included in your book?
Um, saving.
Yes.
That. Yeah, saving and paying yourself first.
Okay.
Which I didn't really know. For a long time, I didn't know what that meant, right? So I read the books, all the books that everybody wrote. Pay yourself first, pay yourself first. So paying myself first was I get my check, I take money out so that I can go spend it.
Right. Right.
That's how you pay yourself first, right?
Yeah, right.
And as I started really getting deep into this, and I was like, okay, there's this thing called retirement. Well, I'll tell you the truth about retirement. I did not know. I mean, I'm 55 now. Yay. But for a long time, I didn't know what retirement was. And I didn't know that I needed to worry about retirement until it was time to retire.
Correct.
Right. And so, like my mom, she kind of just stopped working. My grandma stopped working. But like, what was retirement? Well, right. What did that really mean? Right. And then I started learning, you want to have, you want to be able to live like you've been living. Correct. when you want your money to work for you when you can't work for it anymore.
I love that.
Right. And so I started learning about that. And then I was like, oh, do you mean pay yourself first means that I'm supposed to be saving for my future? And so I learned how to save. And remember, I told you before, I didn't know how to save and I didn't have a savings account. Well, I had one, but it didn't have any money in it. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing the challenges. As you've seen on Facebook. I do the 52-week challenge. And I started doing these challenges. I do the 52-week. I continue to do that, but I was doing like a $5 challenge, a $1 challenge. And I started seeing my money grow. I started seeing money that was in my bank account that I wasn't taking out. I started learning about what my 401k was, right?
Right.
And then, how to maximize it and really, because I'm a girl who does not want to work until I'm 70, Absolutely. And so I don't want to work until I'm 70. And then when I'm 70, I don't want to have to buy cat food. So
I see our on that, but right.
I really, really had to learn about saving. And I started encouraging, people to learn about saving because that's really going to be the difference between if you eat or you don't, wow. And not just saving. Wow. And it's not just saving, it's saving and investing because like I said, you want your money to work for you when you can't work for it. So it's important for you to learn how to invest money. And even if you don't do it in the stock market, you got to have like a 401k, an IRA, or, something that's going to make your money grow.
That's right. Yeah. I love that. And all of that. Did you include all of that in your book as well?
I think I put a little bit about it. Yeah.
Do you do teaching to other people, or you just just your people that are in your sphere of reference?
Mostly in my sphere of reference. Anybody that asks me, I will help them. I'll give them the knowledge that I have, and I'll help them go find whatever is out there that'll be good for them. I love to put people on the Dave Ramsey, but like I said, some people that's not their thing. So there is so much information available. You just have to find the thing that you're going to be able to stick with. And that's the key.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And how do you see financial freedom as a form of legacy, especially for families and communities, future generations?
I see it as, especially now that I have grandchildren, right? I see it as the ability to go on vacations. I see it as the ability to help. Like maybe my grandson wants to go to this college or this program that maybe his parents don't have all the money for. Well, I want to be able to say, oh, I have it.
Right.
I see it as just being a help to other people, right? That mother who is struggling, that single mother that's struggling, and she's working, maybe at the restaurant, and just being able to give a tip that's not going to hurt my pockets. You know what I mean? Things like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And it is important and key that we think forward, and just like you said, think about retirement, think about your future children and children that may be coming, or even just basically thinking forward, thinking ahead, and not just living day to day.
Right.
Is really key to getting out of debt. It's amazing how that process is helpful to your mindset. What has changed about the way you think?
I no longer like scarcity is not, I know money is abundant, it's abundant, it's available, it's for me, right?
That's right.
Because I really did used to, have a really scarcity mindset. Like I was afraid to spend money. Although now this is funny because we were buying things and things like that, but for the most part, I was afraid if we got a big sum of money, I wanted to hold on to it because I was scared that I wasn't ever going to get this money again. And I think that's a big reason why it went away from me so much.
Yeah.
And through this whole process, I learned that money is abundant, like it's replenishable.
Yes. It's a tool, just like anything else. It's how you use it.
Yep.
Is how what will determine the results that you get from it. And so that's what I've learned as well. It's just when I took on the finances, I just had to put my head down and just really trust and watch God show me a different way to do things and change my perspective. Like you said, sometimes the way we're raised or sometimes the things you go through in life really kind of directs the way you think about money. And so, so that I had this similar, I declare you must be talking about my life. Very, very similar mindset for sure. And so what would you want people to get from your book when they purchase it?
I want them to get the practicality of it. I want them to get that it is so easy that sometimes it's hard, right? But I want them to see how easy it is. I mean, at whatever level you are, right?
Yeah.
You could be making a very little bit of money, but you still have to be responsible with it.
Yes.
And I know that's hard to do because I was there and I hear people say, I don't make enough money to save, or I don't make enough money to tithe. But I would rather tell you that you don't make enough money not to.
Right.
Because that's the only way we dig ourselves out of holes.
Yes.
And my biggest thing is like, every time I get a paycheck or every time I get a piece of money, I ask God to show me what to do with this. You know what I mean? Help me be responsible, a responsible steward of this money. As a matter of fact, my last 52-week challenge, because what I do for my birthday is I start a 52-week challenge.
Okay.
And so for the whole year, I'm saving the money, right? And the 52-week challenge is just what it sounds like. Every week for the whole year, 52 weeks, you save that amount of money. So week 1, you save $1, week 2, $2, all the way up to 52. Mm-hmm. And when you finish, you should have $1,378, right?
Really?
Yeah. And what usually happens to me is I'll put a little bit more in. And so this last challenge, because my birthday was last month.
Right.
This last challenge, I just counted up the money and I had $1,713.
Wow.
Right. And that's my birthday present to myself every year.
Oh my goodness.
I save it up and then I decide what I'm going to do with it. But
now, did you create this yourself or you found this somewhere?
I found it. I mean, the information is infinite on how to. So you have to seek it out and use it. And that's the thing. It's there, it's available, but you have to use it.
Yeah.
And so when I found this challenge, I just took hold of it and I try to get everybody that I know. I'm like, this is so easy. I mean, this is a no-brainer. And even I sometimes do it backwards. I start at 52, so because that's the hardest, right? And I work my way down. So when I get to the 52nd week, it's like I'm only putting $1 in, and I'm,
And are you putting this in a bank, or are you just keeping it at home somewhere in your home?
I usually do it with cash.
Okay.
But I show people how to just make that deposit into another account, like usually a high yield savings account, just, so because some people don't like to keep cash. But for me, I like to touch it, see it, know that it's, know that I have it.
And it's so neat. I have to try that one. You got me on what was the one I did do? I think the $5 one. I think.
Yes.
Every time you had a $5, you can't spend it. You got to put it away.
And I tell you, that was so funny.
It was hilarious because first of all, when I first started and I really wanted to get $5, I couldn't get a $5 bill.
Right.
Then it got tough, and times got hard. I was like, don't give me a $5. Don't give me a $5 bill. Don't give me a $5.
Fran, I'll tell you, I went to, of all places, I went to McDonald's one time, right? And I was doing the $5 challenge. And I think I had gotten like an apple pie and something to drink, right? It was under $5. I gave the person a $20 bill. Surely they're not going to give me, all fives back.
Right.
They gave me $15 in fives. And I was like, no. But I couldn't spend them.
Right. Oh, that was the most phenomenal challenge. I had fun with that one because I remember thinking, I want the $5. And I forget what store I went. They were like, oh, we don't have any in the cash register. I'm like, who's spending $5?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That was a neat challenge. I just loved them because they were so practical, so fun, just something to do to really challenge yourself. And so I absolutely appreciate it. I'm going to give you a quote from your book and you tell me what you meant by it. Financial freedom is not about having more. It's about needing less, trusting God more, and using what you have to bless others.
I mean, exactly what it says. It's like you don't, like I said, at any level,
right?
Like you can do this at any level, right? You can get your financial peace at any level. So you have to trust God that if I tithe this money, if I start putting money away for my retirement, you know what I mean? Yeah. If I pay these debts off, that the money is going to continue to flow, right? Yeah. And then you have to be generous. And like sometimes you can't be generous financially, but with your time. Yeah. Even with me, just giving out this information to people, you know what I mean? I want to help you. At one point, I was going to Goodwill every week, just looking for financial peace, the Financial Peace book. Yeah. And I was just giving it to people. Because I wanted people to have this information, because I didn't want to keep it to myself because it was so good. Like I paid off a student loan. Who does that, right? I was able to pay off. I was able to pay off. My two older boys went to college, and because we didn't have the money for them to really go to college, debt free. Of course, they got student loans, and I had taken out Parent Plus loans. And if you don't know, your Parent Plus loans is for your kids, but you pay it. It's in your name. Yep. And although I had said to the kids, I was like, you guys, I'll take it out, but you got to pay it, right? That was lingering over my head, right? Because that's part of my debt. That's correct. And throughout this process, not only was I able to pay off my student loans, I was able to pay off both of those Parent Plus loans and take that burden away from them. Yes. I was able to pay off like car notes. Like the best feeling on earth is driving around in this car that I don't have a car note for. Yes. Oh my goodness. So it's so eye-opening. And it's like, just to be able to give other people this knowledge, I want you to know how that feels, not to get a paycheck and it's all going to somebody else. Correct. Yeah.
I love your passion. I love that. And that's a great place for us to end, but you may be coming back because I love your theories and the practicality of the way you present this powerful message, because I know this is the way God would have us to live. If you don't mind, I would love if you could close us out in prayer and pray for those who are either struggling or need some support, and asking God to help them, if you don't mind.
All right. Dear Lord, we come to you today. I'm thanking my sister Fran for allowing me to come on and talk to anybody that will listen about their finances. Lord, I ask you to bless every person under the sound of my voice that will hear this. Bless them with the knowledge and the ability to find somebody that will help them, that will give them the information that will show them how they can too get out of debt, and so that they can pay it forward. Lord, we thank you for all that you do for us, all that you've done for us, and all that you will continue to do for us. And Lord, with this, we will continue to grow your kingdom. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please tell the audience how they can get your book.
You can go on the World Wide Web and you can look under Pensight. That's PENSIGHT. And just look for the title Financial Freedom Unleashed by Renee Williams.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, my sister. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking to you. I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait. Renee, we are so grateful for you joining us today. I want to remind our listeners that if you are interested in getting Renee's ebook entitled Financial Freedom Unleashed, a guide to living a debt-free life, you can go on to the World Wide Web and type in Pensight, P as in Paul, ENSIGHT, and look up the book by the title or her name, Renee Williams. As we close today's episode, we're reminded that financial freedom isn't just about numbers. It's about obedience, legacy, and trust. Renee's practical wisdom has shown us that living debt-free is not merely a goal, but a spiritual journey of surrender, stewardship, and hope. The Bible says in Proverbs 22:7, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. This verse reminds us that debt can entangle not just our finances, but our freedom. God calls us to live as stewards, not slaves, to walk in wisdom, generosity, and trust in his provision. And I want to leave you with this inspirational quote from Renee's book. Financial freedom is not about having more. It's about needing less, trusting God more, and using what you have to bless others. I hope you will enjoy hearing more from this inspiring ministry. Please remember to send your questions, prayer requests, or testimonies to our email address, thisisontheedge@gmail.com. And if you found this episode impactful, please follow, rate, review, subscribe, and share with others who might need this encouragement. My prayer is not for an increase in the number of people applauding me, but for an increase in the number of hearts turned toward the will of God. This is On the Edge.